Hey car people, John from John's Barn. How are you? I just made about a 7-minute video that I didn't make because I didn't push the button. Whew. How did that happen? We got this ugly ass 65 Cutlass in here in the barn so we can tear it apart. Dash has got to come out, bucket seats. A guy does want the rear seats for cores. Dash got to come out because it's an air car. I sold a guy, he's got two 65 442 convertibles, both air cars. And the one, I guess they had redone the firewall and all the wiring's gone. Every piece, every bottle, you name it. He's got that, but he has not a stitch of wiring on for the engine or for the front end. And the wiring on this car, look at the condition of the wiring. It's very nice. I mean, this car is set in Missouri. It was wrecked. This car was wrecked in the late 70s. I found the paperwork. The last time it was insured was 77. See, the wires are nice, very nice. So we're gonna do a will it run on that too because I did get it to turn over. And he needs a fan shroud, which is very hard to find, and this top plate, which seems to be all but impossible to find. To pull the grill out of it. All this stainless. I've had this thing. You know, I've had this, listed for parts for a month and a half, and I know if I had a 65 Cutlass and if it was missing anything, I'd be scouring the internet. And if it wasn't missing anything, I'd be buying extra parts like this here, the drip. That is an option. Some of these did not have that on there. This is not an F85, this is a Cutlass. F85s didn't have that. But if I had one of these that was even done and I saw this for parts, I'd buy it. And I'd strip it right to the bone. It'd be a skeleton, and I would clean up everything and pack it away. Because as much traffic as is out there nowadays, parking lots, even at car shows, people not paying attention, a chrome piece gets damaged and it takes you 6 months to find it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark all of the side trim pieces, and eBay is the way to go because all over the world, people are looking for stuff, and that stuff will, the guy wants the tail lights, he wants the lenses. And he wants both backup lenses, which are extremely hard to find. So we've already made a deal. That stuff's going to be shipped out really, really soon. And I did a video on, I downloaded it, haven't posted it yet. You'll see it here. I'm going to download it tonight. It just highlights what's been going on lately. And that car there, that's a cool car, man. It's 54 Dodge Coronet Suburban. And I just became the high bidder, and I just won the car. The day that car was delivered, it's got the wrong engine in it, folks. That car either came with a flathead 6 or a 241 Red Ram Hemi, and it's got a poly engine in it. And the early poly engines had a Hemi block, and instead of having the Hemi heads with the twin rockers on each side, it had one rocker per side. Really good engine, almost as much power, if not as much power as the Hemi engines. Cheaper to make. Don't confuse it with the 318 poly. The polys of the 58, 59, 60 up to the mid 60s. They were a good engine. They were slated basically as a truck engine because they're so durable. The carburetor was off that, and I found it in the back seat along with a spacer. And the spacer had a governor in it that had been cut out and welded up. So that engine came out of a truck. And obviously the Hemi blew up and they put that engine in. And it's a 3-speed stick car. But the transit went bad, and the guy's brother was driving it. And he yanked and cranked on the shifter until he broke the shifter off. Which is pretty impressive, actually, because that was made out of pretty good metal. And so the transmission is in the back, and the cover's off, and there's pieces in a can. But I that night I got on the computer and got online and found on an online auction, an estate auction, a 54 Coronet Royale. Automatic, kind of rusty, sitting in a garage, just rusty, dusty. Been sitting forever. The tires are rotted half off it, with a 241 Red Ram Hemi, and the perfect grill and front bumper that mine doesn't have, because mine's been bumped into in the front just enough to where it's messed up the grill and the bumper. So, and I bought the car. I'm very happy with what I bought the car for. So that takes care of that one. We'll do updates on that car, and when that parts car gets here, we'll do a will it run on a, they call them baby Hemis, 150 horse 2-barrel. Hemi's a Hemi, folks. This one here, where we decided to part it out. It's too much money to restore this car, even to make it just a driver with patina. I found one out west. It's a 2-door that has a dent in the fender. The hood's messed up, the grill's messed up, and of course the drivetrain's gone. And it's a 54. It's a 4-barrel, no cast-on bell housing Hemi, the first year. And so here's the engine, and there's my perfect grill, my perfect bumper, perfect hood, perfect fender, well, except for the molding. So we're going to be doing a will it run on that, and then we're going to be doing a how long is it going to take to pull the front end and motor out. And then sadly it'll go to the boneyard because nobody fixes 4-doors. I got online and I found driver quality cars for $4,500, you know, so they're just not, the 4-doors aren't worth anything. The Imperials are worth a little bit more money, but the 2-doors they're what brings the money. But you'll see in the video I post this evening that where I'm teasing at the end of the video that I got a surprise, and I went and picked it up the other day, and told you it's really cool, and it was one of my favorite cars, and here it is. Original paint, 1948 Plymouth. I think is a super deluxe, special deluxe. Here's every piece that's off the car. It was going to be restored about 25, 26, 28 years ago. A guy took it to some guy he knew. He played around, took this stuff off. That's as far as he got. And about a year and a half later, the owner of the car had a heart attack and passed away, unfortunately. And his brother went to, you know, rescue the car, and this supposed friend, body man, whatever, starts this, hey man, I've had this car for almost 2 years, and he didn't give me any money, which was a lie. And so I'm going to keep the car. I'm going to put a mechanic's lien on it. And so the guy who owned the car, you know, that had passed away, his brother, had the title in his pocket, and it had already been put in his name. He was ahead of the game, and he called the police, and the police rolled up, and the guy got cocky, and this gentleman that had inherited the car, you know, he was there with the trailer. He says, I'm loading my car up, and I guess the guy said something like, you're gonna have to go through me first, or something smart. So I guess he laid him out, and ironically he didn't go to jail. The cops probably figured the guy deserved it. He loaded the car up, took it home, and it sat for like 25 years, and he started getting sick, and he sold it to the guy I bought it from. Actually, he was getting rid of some things and having the yard cleaned out, and this guy does yard clean outs, and he said, are you interested in this old Plymouth? And the price was really cheap, so he told me what he paid for it. And I bought it cheap because he got it cheap, and I bought it for probably a third of what it's worth the way it sits. But this is an original paint 48 Plymouth, and if you can look down the sides of this car, I mean, the film probably doesn't do it justice. It has the original paint. I'm thinking of wiping it down with that acid prep and flat clearing it temporarily, and maybe driving it the way it is, you know, for a little while next year. And then I will be restoring this car. I will be repainting this car. This car is so straight that it's, I mean, looking in that door is like looking in a mirror. and there's no rust on the car. Now the cool part of this car is, number one, it's a coupe. Number two, guys with sharp eyes can see, this is a business coupe. In other words, there's no back seat, people. This was for traveling salesmen, guys, a guy who was just starting out, maybe got a job, didn't have any money. These were cheaper. He would throw his clothes back there, or if he was selling something, and sometimes maybe sleep in the car and, you know, try to get his foot in the door and make enough money to where he could live. And so this is a 48 Plymouth Special Deluxe. Yes, Special Deluxe. 1948 Plymouth Special Deluxe Business Coupe. One of the hardest cars to find. Look at the condition of this car, folks. Check that out. That cool or what? It's got 60,000 miles on it. And look at this. The key is in the ignition, for God's sakes. Look at this. Look at the ashtrays. Check out the radio. It goes through the gears. Look how solid this car is. Some surface rust in a few spots. It's a little bit scaly surface rust underneath. I found 2 holes in the floor, about the size of a golf ball. If I have to put a floor section in it, who cares? I'm a Mopar guy as well as a Pontiac guy. My dad had a 47 Plymouth Business Coupe when he was a teenager. I've got pictures of it. It's the exact same car. And God rest his soul, if my dad was alive today, he would probably throw a blanket over that seat and he'd probably sit in it with his Pall Mall sticking out of his mouth and his old Milwaukee in his hand, and then take a drink and put his old Milwaukee between his legs, and he'd be shifting through the gears making vroom vroom noises. He was 14 or 15 when he got that car. He drove it all over the place with no license till he finally got in trouble a couple times, and then he was old enough to get a license. And this car has the hubcaps on it. I mean, this thing is unbelievable, folks. We've got a dead straight rear bumper, nice core. And check this out. Look at this. And there's the front bumper. And look at this, folks. Look at this. Look at that. Just wild. It's only been here a couple days. I need to get it covered up. I don't want it to get rained on. It's going to go right in the barn. The GTO is going to be out of there next week. We'll be covering that real soon. I've got all the engine components together. And when that leaves, this is going right in the barn. I put a battery in it, and the starter spins, but it won't engage. So the starter's got to come off, get rebuilt. It's sticking. But look at this. Date of plates are there. Original carburetor. The one time an electric fuel pump was put on it. The engine looks like it's never been played with at all. I mean, hoses have been updated. You know, it's got a new coil, 6-volt coil on it. It's been tuned up. The spark plug wires are you know, look like new. Just, you know, I guess this guy drove this car around like 3 or 4 days a week back about 30 to 35 years ago. We'll just get in it and drive it around. He'd had it since he was younger. I guess he was the second owner, the one that passed away. And I guess he would just get in and go to the store, go to Kroger's and go shopping. It was this toy, I guess. Here's that one the video that you're gonna be seeing here soon. One before this that I haven't downloaded yet. This is the one I bought a parts car for. I got lucky. It's a 54 Coronet Suburban 2-door wagon. And it's got a little damage on the front here. It's got a poly V8 in it, which it's not supposed to have. It's supposed to have a red Ram Hemi. 241 Hemi. It's got a poly. And I ran all the numbers. It's a 56 or 57. It's a 316 truck motor. But those early Polys, the bare block was the same as a Hemi. Same as an early Hemi 241, 270, you know, whatever. This car is cool as all get out. The day I got it delivered, that night I got online, was playing around looking at online auctions. I stumbled across a 54 Dodge Coronet Royale 4-door. Sitting in a garage, covered in dust, some dents and scratches and bruises, some rust, 4 tires that were rotted half off it, with a complete red Ram Hemi, 241 Hemi in it, with an automatic. And that's a stick. And that was originally parked because the guy that owned it had let his brother drive it around, and his brother used to think it was a hot rod. And he broke the trans, and it was stuck in between gears, and he's yanking and cranking on the shifter, and he broke the shifter actually off. They got it back to his brother's shop, and they pulled the transmission out of it and took it apart, and there was pieces in there, and the transmission's in the back of the wagon with the pieces. So it was parked. That was parked like 30 or 40 years ago. I have found a 3-speed stick shift transmission, the exact one. I have found the shifter that's broken. I'll show you. I got on a couple of the old Mopar sites, and I actually found an NOS one for $35. See it? Just take her off, and away you go. And this car's cool. You'll see this in the video that I'm going to be posting here the next day or so, today or tomorrow. But so it'll be a 241 Hemi with a 3-speed. I could put the 2-speed automatic in it that's out of the parts car, but I kind of like to leave that car the way it is. You know, it was born a stick, I'm gonna leave it a stick. And that 2-speed transmission, it was the first year, and everything I've read about it says it's a hell of a transmission. So it's an option, but I'm leaning more towards, the guy wants $250 for a transmission. I can get the shifter rod. It'll probably need a clutch and pressure plate. The starter is off, but it's just on the floor in the back seat. So, you know, not a lot to do. But I just want to catch you guys up in the last video I made, which you'll see. I was teasing you about this really cool car that I bought, and I mean, look, even the marker lights are there. I can't get over the grill and the grill bars. I mean, they're so close to perfect that it's scary for a car that, you know, it's 60, let's see, 60, 70, almost 80 years old, 77 years old, something like that. I mean, and no parking lot dents, no whoopsies at one time, no Bondo. You know, these primer spots, I think that's this guy's weak attempt at, hey, I'm starting to work on your car, because there's no dents here. Looks to me like there was a chip. And I think this was just rust underneath the trim piece. So he thought, and this is original primer, folks. This is what's underneath that black. So that's what they used back then. But isn't that amazing that lacquer paint has held up all those years? What a cool car. Tell me what you think, people, in the comments. I think it's one of the most attractive cars of the era in the 40s. You've got your coupes, you know, you got your rumble seat coupes. Those are neat, but I've had 2 friends that had rumble seat coupes, and they were both over 6 feet tall, and they could barely drive the cars. And I put a towel down and sat in this car, and there was tons of room. It's got the room of a sedan, but it's a coupe. So, yes, love it. As you can see, engine's out of that, of course. As you can see, the white truck is gone. DeSoto's gone. We did haul a load out of here the other day, so that pile's a lot smaller. There's a pile back there, it's almost gone. It's time to finish cleaning up the yard. I had help, see, and I had been bringing stuff up from that barn way back there that you can see. Oh, how can you see it? You can see it back there. There was just piles and piles of stuff in front of it, and been bringing stuff up, and then he hurt himself, and he's one of those hypochondriacs, doesn't want to work anymore. He's on Social Security disability, and he's a good friend. I love him to death. He's just not over ambitious, and now he's unambitious, and his longtime fiance is about to show him what her size 9 looks like. I guess I ran to her at the store, and she's just had it with him, and they've known each other for 35 years, and she's and I got one other guy that come over here. He helps me about twice a month, 3 times a month. He's another one that just 10 years younger than me and does, I put my time in. I'm in my 60s, folks. I do this 7 days a week, man. I love it. So that's where we're at right now. I got a little bit of running to do. We're also going to be putting a front end on a L7500 series Sterling crane. And when I mean a crane, I'm talking about if I park it there, it comes to about there. That gives you an idea. It's giant. I had a blowout on the right front tire. And of course, the front ends on those tilt front ends are fiberglass, so just use your imagination. About 25% of it's gone. I found one out in Maryland, right out by Delaware, and they're building a crate for it, and it'll be here next week. So it's coming here probably Friday or Saturday, and next week we're gonna rig up. I'll probably take my my Gentry, and it's wide enough. I already measured it, and take the Gentry and use that to carefully lift that hood up and get it positioned right, and make sure everything is kosher, and get that on there. It's the same color, and we're going to wheel that thing out, make it look decent. And I'm going to go through all the hoses and hydraulics and make sure everything's good, because I'm also a master diesel mechanic, heavy equipment, machinery. It has not been off the road that long, which is good, less than a year. So it's not like it's been sitting in a storage for 10 years and it needs everything. You cannot let those big trucks sit, because all the hoses and everything go to shit. So I'm going to change all the hydraulic fluid, change the axle fluids, which we're not talking a couple gallons, we're talking dozens of gallons. Do transmission maintenance, let it run for a while, check the engine out. Everything else, I've had it running, everything seems to work. It started on its own batteries, so I actually drove it back up north. So we're gonna be doing that and getting the GTO running. So until then, this is John, and this is John's barn, and John's soon-to-be cleaned up yard. We're all done with the final. I brought the last 2 loads up the other day from down in the barn, in front of the barn, so we're done. Once all this is gone, and this is gone, and that's cut up, I'm gonna rearrange a few cars, get rid of a few more cars, and it's time to do the barn floor. So it's John from John's Barn. Coronet says hi. The 48 Plymouth Business Coupe says hello, and watch me in future videos. You want to put a like or a share, comments, subscribe. I'm not in this to make any money. I enjoy doing it. Gives me someone to talk to. I like to share my knowledge and my experience in this. I got friends that said I could write a book, no problem, with everything that I've experienced, everything I've done, all the boring and not so boring experiences and things that have happened to me over the years would probably make a pretty interesting read for someone who wanted to read the life of someone who's experienced most of what you could experience as a human being, good and very bad. But God has helped me through everything. So thanks everybody, and we'll get back to you soon. John's Barnes says bye. John says bye. See ya.